Hello everybody, this is Colton from Nerdpocalypse, bringing you a Five Nights at Freddy's 3 teaser trailer breakdown and analysis. Now the plan is to just go over the trailer, point out and sort of explain some of the interesting and important bits that, I can find, and afterwards I'm going to just show some of the images that Scott gave us alongside the trailer. Now, up here, as you can see, I have the teaser trailer up, and, let's get started. So, we start off here, just going along a very rundown hallway, and we start to see some hand-drawn images from children, and these show a couple of interesting things. Now, first off, they show a lot of new model animatronics. We've got Toy Bonnie here, Toy Chica, Toy Freddy, it looks like, the Balloon Boy with supposedly his balloons up here, and finally the Marionette. So whether this is hinting that they'll come back in this game or not, I have no idea. Now, draw your attention up here to this image. It's different in a couple ways. First off, it shows off old Bonnie instead of, all of the other toy model animatronics like all the other images. And second, look at its eyes. They're blacked out and you can only see the white pupils. Now, it's odd that a child would draw that way. Not sure if it has any real significance other than what Scott said. He said, as a short explanation, that he found Bonnie to be the only animatronic that was actually scary, so whether or not this is alluding to that or some in-game mechanic, I don't know. So, let's move forward. Now, I'm going to talk about this mysterious text here after we get back to it, but I'm not going to try and explain it now. Now, here's something interesting that Bonnie does. As we're panning across, Bonnie turns and looks at you. Whether this is again alluding to the fact that Scott found Bonnie to be the only interesting character, or actually it could be alluding to something that we'll see farther in the trailer. I believe it's the next shot. But it's just really creepy that Bonnie turns and looks at you. Now here's an interesting little tidbit. We have what looks to be really old Bonnie violently twitching in a corner. Now, we know this is Bonnie for one major reason. The ears up here are a dead giveaway that it has to be Bonnie. There's no other animatronic in the game that looks like that. So that's why. Now here we have a short glimpse of the office. The fan is back, and you can see what looks to be Golden Bonnie sneaking up on you. So that's very interesting. If you haven't seen the trailer already, go and look at it. I'll have it linked in the description. It's really, really interesting. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at some of the images, and we'll do that right about now. So I forgot to leave myself room to talk about the mysterious text, so I'm going to sort of squeeze it in here. My opinion is that they're talking just about you. I've heard people say they're talking about Bonnie, the phone guy, the purple man / killer, whatever you want to call him. But I just think they're talking about you, the security guard. He always does, talking about how you come back. You always come back for another night, and how they have a place for you. Your place is your office. That's where you go. It's really simple, and, I could be completely off, but that's just my opinion. And if you have another opinion, be sure to leave it down in the comment section below. Okay, so here we are, and we have a nice view of the new office. Now, the first thing right off the bat that I noticed was how industrial it looked. Hanging wires, lots of stained metal or tiling, it looks like. And also, the fan is back, so that's nice. You've got animatronic, plushies of the animatronics, a couple drawings, and that mysterious box of new animatronic parts. Bonnie's guitar, heads, lots of heads, and a trash can. So that's interesting. You've got a glass window here, which is very interesting. I'm interested to see if that will play any part in the gameplay, whether you can see the animatronics coming down the hall, if there are even multiple animatronics or just one animatron. So I'm interested to see how that will play a part in the game. So this first image shows off your new camera feed. Now, one of the first things to notice is that Scott clearly has been listening to some suggestions, as now the camera does not take up the entire screen. You can now see your surroundings in order to potentially find if any threat is outside your office. Now, onto the actual feed itself. You can see in the bottom right the new layout of the building, and going with the theme that this is a horror attraction, not actually a pizzeria, you can see it has no large rooms. In fact, the office appears to be the largest room and is instead filled with lots of long corridors. Now, another thing to notice from the layout is that on the top right, there's an arrow pointing down near camera 10. What that means, I have no idea. And also in the bottom left, we have 3 dots. Not sure what those are supposed to indicate. And finally, judging from the layout again, there's only one entrance to your office, and that's through the left door. Now, last thing to point out is that what's in the background with the glowing eye, I have no idea. It appears perhaps to be an animatronic walking around, although I see no legs, so not sure if it's just a prop or not. So let's move on to the next image, shall we? Alright, so the second of the camera images we were given shows something a little bit different. On the left we can see what is, I believe, now commonly referred to as Golden Bonnie. That's what I'm calling it from now on. And also we have a foxy head mounted on the wall. So, interesting decor choice. Not sure if I condone it or not, but not too much to see here other than on the right side, and it appears a lot in these teaser images. On the right side near the top of the camera feed, this blue button that says click with arrows, so perhaps you won't have control of what camera feed you're looking at, but you have to cycle through in order. So, I mean, that makes sense when you look at the camera numbers themselves. They're labeled 1 through 10, where before you had numbers and letters mixed in, like 1C, 2B, 3, etc. So I'm interested to see what it's supposed to do and if it makes the cut to the final game. Now, this is an interesting game mechanic that Scott added. Instead of just using the cameras, you need to maintain the system and make sure it works, where occasionally they appear to malfunction and you need to take the time to reboot them, where you might get attacked by then. So, not sure what exactly it is or how it will play out, but it looks to be very interesting, and I'm interested to try it once I finally get my hands on the game. So finally we have this lovely close-up of Golden Bonnie, just showing off a couple extra details. In fact, if you look at the window off to the right, you'll see the same picture that we first looked at the beginning of the trailer, the somewhat changed old Bonnie picture. Anyway, if you look off to the left through the door, you'll see a very empty Freddy costume that looks very similar to the one with the glowing eye that we saw in the first camera feed. And finally, just a nice, lovely close-up of Golden Bonnie, letting you inspect all the details, the wires hanging out, all the rotted material, supposedly. I have no idea what Bonnie's made out of. And finally, you know, you've just, to fill the atmosphere, you've got a nice glowing red light, whether that might act as a warning system to tell you that Bonnie's getting close, or perhaps it just all sums up to saying you're screwed. So, that's basically it. Thanks for watching. Be sure to hit the like button if you did, and be sure to subscribe. That always helps. It encourages us to make more videos. So, yes, thanks for watching, and be sure to tune in next time.